What's up, you beautiful troublemakers? This is hypnotist, mentalist, and madman Israel Mandrake, and it is an honor and a pleasure to bring to you the Anxiety Assassin. Now, something I want you to know right off the bat is though we're calling this the Anxiety Assassin, this can also be used for fear, for phobias, for overwhelm, for insomnia, and any time at all that you can feel the cortisol and adrenaline surging through your body and you feel that overwhelm and you feel like you're going to break, that's where the Anxiety Assassin comes in. Now, all of these techniques are spiked with some of the strongest techniques I've ever learned. Most of them, well, actually, there's three. The first one is called the Warrior 333. The second one is called the Snowman. And the third is called the 7-Tap Assassin. And all three of these techniques, they're potent. They're very, very powerful techniques. But one of the things that I want you to understand is that when you go to do these techniques, every single one leads you to self-hypnosis, leads you to understanding more about your own energy, leads you to understanding breath work, and a big surprise, your acupressure points and the way that you can compound that all together. And by doing that, you can synchronize with your mind, your body, and your spirit in a way that you probably haven't felt for a while. Now, if you take this in as a life practice and you trust yourself and you know that the mindset that you need as a warrior to do this, not only will you succeed, but you will look back on this and remember how proud of yourself you are and how strong you are. Now, that's where we're going to start. In a couple moments, I'm going to show you each technique and break it down to make it as simple as possible for you. But I ask you for one thing. If you take this on as a life practice, learn more about breathing. Learn more of why self-hypnosis is so important. And last but not least, all of the healing arts can be merged and mixed in with this. Whatever your spiritual adaptation to life is, feel free to download that because everything is mind, body, and spirit. All right, strap on your psychological seatbelt. This technique is called the Warrior 333. And if you're wondering, by the way, or if you don't know, the 333 symbolizes not only an angel number, but it also means mind, body, spirit times 3. Okay, so here we go. And this will be in 4 parts. And my goal is to make this so easy that not only can you memorize it, but you can do it at will. Now, those 4 parts, we're going to go step by step on how they go together, but trust yourself and know that this is something you can carry with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, the first part is that the moment you start to feel that panic or overwhelm in any way, shape, or form, the first portion is the breath. It's going to be 2 inhales in and then Himalayan breath. And what Himalayan breath means is you're going to purse your lips. So it takes a very, very, very long time for the breath to come out. So step 1, there's 2 inhales. And then as you're breathing out, you want it to go as slow as possible. So we're going to do the breath and then we're going to compound all the pieces. And then I'm going to walk you through it. Here we go. Now, if you see me counting with my fingers, you might be wondering, so does it have to be a certain number? Absolutely not. No matter what, and no matter what circumstance, when you breathe in that double inhale, followed by Himalayan breath, what you're doing is you're oxidizing not only the cells in the body, but also your neurology and your physiology. So now what we're going to do is we're going to compound 2 things together. The double inhale, the exhale in a Himalayan breath style, and you're simply going to take your right hand, make a very loose fist, and where your middle finger goes, right there, you're going to touch that point. And you're going to go clockwise. This is to stimulate the autonomic immune system, And here we go. Now, it might seem simple, but this is getting ready to be a little bit like this, and you know what I mean. I want you to find pericardium 8, it's called. Pericardium 8 is an acupressure point which calms the nervous system on an unconscious level. The double breath in is the oxidization and the regulation. And now, one of the most important parts, you're gonna add wide eye and blinking. Wide eye and blinking. So here we go. Here, begin going clockwise. Now, if you're walking through this with me, you realize already that whatever your body was feeling, it has come back to a state of neutral. So you'll notice now that just by doing that particular pressure point, that it could bring you out of an anxiety fit on its own, take you out of fear on its own. Just that pressure point alone. The double breath in, followed by Himalayan breath, and wide eye to close eye. What you're doing is you're bringing your brain waves from beta to alpha, which means you are now highly suggestible after about 2 or 3 breaths. And last but not least, we're going to add self-hypnosis. And when I say self-hypnosis, what I mean is inner dialogue. Now, when I go to do it, I'll start the breath, and then I'm going to begin speaking as though you were speaking in your own mind. So, all 4 parts together now. Ready? Pericardium 8. Reverse towards your body clockwise. Take the longest time you can breathing out, blinking your eyes. Now in this next breath, I'm going to add the self-hypnosis. Here we go. You got this. Everything's fine. And here's called a linguistic double bind. You can either feel better now or notice you feel better as the end of this breath sets you free. You can use whatever kind of language you want, but one of the main things to remember is on that out breath as you're going into that state, and you'll feel as your eyes open and close that you almost go into a trance state, or you do go into a deep trance state. You're going reverse here, Himalayan breath, opening and closing the shutters to put yourself into a suggestible state. And last but not least, when we start going through a couple of breaths, then you begin self-hypnosis. So let's do this all together now. Ready? First and foremost, drop the hand to here. Find pericardium 8. You'll be able to tell right where it is. Trust yourself. Start going backwards and test it. You should be able to feel it on its own. Even just opening your eyes and closing them will already make that change. Now add the Himalayan breath. You've got this. You can let every nerve, muscle, fiber in your body begin to relax now. And as you relax deeper and deeper, you can let yourself melt down, let go, and free yourself from all the BS or belief systems that are no longer serving you. And now what we're doing is what I call Warrior 333. And that is the technique. 1, 2, 3 shudders, and then in your own mind, use that powerful inner dialogue to override your whole system. Now keep in mind, in between breaths, let's be realistic, primal scream would do really good. Any pattern break. If you're a person that feels overwhelmed so deeply that you need to scream, shake, slap your hands, or simply walk into a different room and look all the way around you in a full circle. No kidding, your eyes will be forced to reset. Anytime that your mind and body reset, your brain waves go from beta to alpha or alpha to theta. Usually not to theta because that'll put you in a deep trance. But going right into that state, the idea is that you get into a symbiosis between you and nature's peace, calm, and state of letting go completely. All right, we're getting ready to go into the next technique. Before we do, I want you to trust yourself and know you were born to get through this. I love you. See you soon. All right, you beautiful troublemakers, here is the go-to technique. I love this technique. This one is also anchored to one of our favorite times a year, and that is the snowman. And what this technique is you're going to do diaphragmatic breathing and learn it the easy way. Let's just consider when you breathe in, I want you to breathe in like a baby from your tummy, like this. And what I mean by that, fill the belly down by the diaphragm under your belly button. In a lot of martial arts systems, they call this your hara. So instead of considering it to be breathing in air, I want you to see yourself breathe in light. And the reason you're using the visual cortex, you'll find out in a little bit here what we're going to add to it to make it so potent. First and foremost, I want you to breathe in here and then breathe out. Once you see how that feels, if you don't already know this technique, you're then going to be visualizing under your hara light, but as you breathe like this, it fills and goes all the way up your chest, expanding the chest, and then expanding that light to the top of your head. That's step one. So let's start there. You're in a frantic situation, you're overwhelmed, your eyes are wide, you have everything hitting you hard. Reverse body language. Close your eyes down a little more. Open your carotid arteries, and here we go. Now again, visualize light filling your belly. Make the light a snowman. First ball, second ball, third ball of light. Ready? Now let's do the Himalayan breath on it. Purse your lips. When you get to the top, take your tongue, put it to the roof of your mouth, and you can keep your tongue up there the whole time, or do it when you get to the top. Hold that light for a moment. Let's go through that part. Now here comes the big part. When you get that light in succession with you, with your soul, where your mind, your body, and your spirit have lost itself in that movement, what I want you to do is to take that light and connect it to your hand. Doesn't matter if you're using imagination or if you're a master energy healer and you can connect to your own light. Whatever you see it as, let it be correct. Bring that light all the way up, and then when you're coming down this way, you're going to take this hand and connect to that light right at your heart chakra. And here we go. Hold. Now we'll call this mental floss. No kidding. I want you to take that light and I want you to really feel that energy in between the two. If you have any discrepancies on that, what I want you to do is I want you to just take your hands like this in your free time. Get used to feeling that energy between your hands. When you pull back and forth, it should feel exactly like two magnets from a refrigerator, either pushing or pulling. And when you get that down, you can even go here and here and feel it before a breath, right? And that's the beginning of the snowman. So let's start again. Here we go. You're in the overwhelming situation. Whatever that overwhelming situation is, you know you're going to have to reverse engineer your body language. If you're here, good. So now you know if your eyes are wide, bring them down. If your jaw is tense, let go. If your fists are clenched, begin to allow the hands to relax. And beyond anything, all of your animal instincts to cover your carotid arteries, to cover the womb, whatever you're covering, let it all go. And get into the state of not just letting go, but that you have made a decision now to take that moment back. And the moment it starts, remember, visualize the light. A couple of times. Just like when you were a little girl, a little boy, use your imagination at the highest level. So much, in fact, that your unconscious mind sees it as real, because it is. Take a deep breath in. And here we go on the hold. Tongue to the roof of the mouth on this one. Now notice how I let go of the breath. Letting go of the breath is fine, or if you want to surge the breath. I want you to, when you're using these techniques, start by knowing this is your body, your mind, and your spirit. We don't have to go to YouTube, and we don't have to go to anyone else to find that advice, though we are right now. You always know what is right for you. You can unconsciously tap into that. For some of us, if we tap into a higher power, we can ask that higher power to help download this energy, right? One more time. Panic, reverse engineer, shake it off, scream, yell, anything and everything that reawakens your mind, reawakens your heart. And now. Now, though I've let go of the breath, I'm loosening the jaw, blinking the eyes maybe. It's up to you. Remember, all these techniques can be worked together congruently. And there you go. Now, the most important part of this whole technique, that is the structure. But what is the technique? The technique is not only taking your energy and becoming aware of it, but this is a fact, and this is why this technique works so strong. It is impossible, absolutely impossible, to do this technique properly without going into a state of trance, because beta will be brought to alpha waves. Simply put, it puts you into a light state of trance where you become highly suggestible. The moment you get into that suggestive state, you could simply say one word over and over. You could say, I love you. You could say, I love myself. You could say, I love him or I love her if it's something where you're having a hard time and you want to get back to being able to relate with that person more. Also, here's a cool trick you can add to this. by simply knowing where there is a salt pack. If you have anxiety, did you know that if you carry with you a simple packet of salt in your purse, in your wallet, whatever it might be, and the moment you're having that panic attack, simply rip that open, sprinkle a little bit of salt on your tongue, and it will pattern break not only your mind, but it will be a physiological and neurological pattern break. Try it. And now add it to this. Put the salt on your tongue, and that would be the same as spinning the chair, screaming, jumping in an ice bath, or changing environments. I know you can do this. I know you can master this. And last but not least, I'm going to take you through this and add one more piece as a bonus. So here we go. The light's coming all the way down to here. Bring the light back up. Play for a little bit. And now, this last one, you're going to get rid of your hands. And as you bring the breath all the way to the crown chakra, as you're letting go, I want you to slam it all the way through the body, down to the floor, and turn it into water, the symbol of love. And we are made up of more water than anything else. And water holds memory. And every word that you tell this water, remember Dr. Emoto's work. We can see under a microscope that when water is blessed, we can see it as crystallized. And if we take water that is cursed, we can see it turn into what looks like a tar-like substance. This is Dr. Emoto, Japanese scientist that you'd absolutely love to study. Check it out. So, nice breath in. Imagining the water all around you, splash in a complete circle around and begin the exterior rotation. That exterior rotation looks like this. Even take your hands, let your hands guide it, and now pour that water through your body and imagine that water connecting to the water in every cell, every nerve, every muscle, every fiber, every part of you, your past, your present, your future. Remember, you've heard the phrase, the trees do not know about science. The forest has never heard of science. The water does not care about what construct you use. It's the belief, it's the frequency, and the resonation. All right, you got this. I love you. All right, strap on your psychological seatbelts. This is the 7-tap assassin. Now this technique is going to touch on 7 different points of the body that every single time you're touching one of these points in succession with the other, not only will it put you from beta to alpha waves so you're highly suggestible, it has a pattern break system within it and downloadability at the deepest level. Now the reason this works, you can find in Chinese medicine. Every single part of your body, from your endocrine system to your nervous system, all of it is connected to these points. The specific pattern that I'm putting them in, well, let's just say this. Pretty soon, you are guaranteed to feel better. Now, any words that you say during this, whether you are imagining those words in your mind with colorful imagery, or if you're saying it out loud, say it compassionately. The idea is to heighten the emotion and to get that stimuli to match up with these points. First point, and I'm going to walk you through each first before we start moving together in synchronicity. Point number 1, you're going to want to use 4 fingers on this whole system. Top of the head, right down the center, right at the baby bump. That's the first point, and you're going to tap that point. Down the middle of the forehead, you're going to tap that point. Then here, the point is right along the bone, right by the eyebrow, and then right under the eye, in and on this bone, right under the eye, right above the chest plate, right where the chest muscle connects, right above your sternum, or right beside your sternum. Then the side of the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last point is pericardium 6, and you get that by grabbing the wrist just like this. When you grab the wrist just like this, that compression holds the point, and then you end this technique with a benediction, a prayer, or a reconnection. Now, by the way, when we're done squeezing here and you put your hands directly in front of your chest, I suggest you go back to the other inner workings and the other techniques. In other words, find your energy here. So let's take it from a situation where you're panicking. Eyes are darting around, carotid arteries are covered, squeezing, freaking out. 1, drop shoulders, open hands, uncover the arteries. Take your eyes that are darting around and bring them down to a peaceful place, and immediately, remember, you can be saying this in your head. I'm going to say certain things out loud. Whatever commands you give the body, the idea is to imagine, to feel, and to let go so much that these points and you in conjunction begin to start taking you on a whole different path emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. From panic to, I let go, I deserve to feel better. Now, it doesn't matter what words you're using. You speak to yourself as though you were someone who loves you the most, and you begin helping you just by speaking through your own heart and mind. I let go, I deserve to feel better. I let go, I let this fear go. I let this stress go. I let this insomnia go. I feel safe. I feel comfortable. I choose to relax. Now, the benediction is a direct statement and a thank you, a gratitude state. As you put your hands here, connect with the energy. And I just allow my whole body to feel the state of gratitude. The feeling at that point can also be the declarative. So from here, I love, I let go, I set myself free. I know that I'm safe. I choose to feel better now. I awaken my own trust. I trust Source, Spirit, the energy, the life force. And as I grab here, I declare, not only am I okay, but I feel gratitude. I feel the love. Whatever language that you use to re-empower your system. So let's do that again, and I'm going to do it in 2 cycles if you would like to follow along. Now is a perfect time. Here we go. Panic, pattern break, salt on the tongue, anything that you're doing to stimulate from one moment to another, then I let go and feel love surge through my body. I feel trust. I feel comfort. I know that I am valuable and loved. I know he or she loves me and I'm okay, whatever it might be, right? As I let go, I notice my body begins to open up and let go also. As I feel that freedom now, I know I'm safe. I know I'm safe. I know I'm safe. You don't have to do the clap, but that's from Warrior 333 technique. And repeat. Now even more declarative. Past tense. It feels good to let go. I feel safe now. Now that I've went through this technique, I know I can become safe at any moment as I let go completely. Finding my heart, mind, body, and spirit connecting in that moment of freedom. I know I can do this anytime under pressure. Again, use your language, your spirituality, or your knowing of the self. Oh, damn, I feel better. Now watch this. Notice how I just switched technique from earlier. Take that heart, bring it up to the top of your head. Now as a bonus, just to show you what this whole thing is about, the anxiety assassin is this. Now let's go to the snowman. Even the water technique now. go back to pericardium 8. See, the idea is just like a martial art. Every one of these techniques, just like music, we have scales of the human body, mind, and spirit. And once we start to find the correlation between all of these techniques, they all become one. I could teach 100 classes on self-hypnosis, but the principles of self-hypnosis remain simple. Same thing with yourself. If you're ever watching something, you're watching any of these techniques, or if you're thinking, well, how does that go with techniques I've used before? The answer is, the answers are found here, here, and, this is really crazy, but I want to tell you this. Dr. Greg Braden, you've got to look him up. He talks about it. Consider your body to be an antenna, because all of the real information that we're trying to pull in is connected in what we call the ether, or the energy body. And that's real. And the crazy thing about it is we feel it every time we come in a room, and we can feel other people. And on that note, here is the big roundup for all of the Anxiety Assassin. Every technique that you just learned, you can share this with someone else. You can share it with your children. You can share it with your grandchildren. You can share it with your husband. You can share it with your wife. You can share it with pretty much any and every being that you come into contact with. I've used this before teaching people at airports before we hit a plane. So I want you to trust yourself, love yourself, and know that every single one of these techniques is already an extension of who and what you are. So trust yourself, kick ass at this, and always go back to self-hypnosis. And if you have any doubt of what that is, an emotional state of self-talk. When you're in a deep emotional state, your brain waves go to that, once again, beta to alpha. Alpha to theta state, all that means is downloadable. So find where you're downloadable and tell that beautiful system of yours it deserves to feel good every damn day. All right, I love you. Misbehave.